Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I will be creating this fun and fresh daisy eye look. Now to start with the makeup. So here I have started with the clean face. I have already done my CTM. Now to prime my face I am using this Maybelline Fit Me primer. If as I have oily skin, I'm using the matte and poreless version. If you have dry skin, you can use a dewy version of the same foundation, same range of the foundation. Now I will dot the primer all over my face nicely and I will massage it very softly on my face for let it sink in, and we will give it a minute or two before starting with the next step. Now our face is nicely primed. Now to move on to the next step, for color correction I have used this Faces Canada concealer in the shade Walnut. I will apply it very softly on all the areas where I have discoloration on my face. So to cancel out the black or blue shade on your face, we use the dark concealer like orange shade warm toned concealer, and if you have so much of redness on your face, you can use the green corrector. I don't have that much of redness on my face, so I have skipped using it. So these are the areas where I usually apply my color corrector. Now to blend it, I have used this pack concealer brush, and I will be very softly blending it out. Now as you can see, the place where I have blended, my dark circle is nicely covered with this concealer, and in this case color corrector. Now just keep this in mind, don't drag this product, the color corrector, all over your face, just blend it where you have placed it. Now once everything is done, we will move on to the foundation. For that I have used this Forever 52 Pro Artist foundation. I have taken a full pump of this foundation and I will dot it all over my face, and we will blend it with a nice flat top kabuki brush. This one is from Mars Tools of Titan brush set. Now I will run my Damn Beauty blender all over my face, so that if there is something extra on my face, that will be picked up and we will be left with the amount of product that we will need on my face. Next, for contouring, I have used this Forever 52 contour. Now today I want a very light contour on my face, so I will show you the areas where I apply my contour. Usually with the round and chubby face like me that I have, these are the areas I usually contour or even bronze sometimes. So this is not a very cool toned contour, this is a very warm toned. It's between the shade is much more between a bronzer and a contour. It's not too dark and not too warm, so it will give a beautiful dimension and color to our face. Now always remember, while blending the contour around your jawline, always blend it downwards, and on all the other areas than cheekbone, like other than jawline, like cheekbone and forehead, always blend your contours or bronzes upwards. If you blend it downward, it gives a very droopy look to your face. Now once this is all nice and blended, we will move on to the blush. For that I am using Lakme 925 Power Play blush. This is a very coral blush, and to apply this I am using a flat top brush, dense brush. This one is from Miniso. So I'll tell you, these are the areas like on the cheeks, the temples of my forehead, a little bit on the chin and the nose. These are the areas I usually apply my blush. Now once it's done, we will move on to the concealer. For that I have used this L'Oreal Infallible concealer in the shade 312. I'll apply it on my inner corners because that's the place where I have most darkness, and on my under eyes, and little bit on the bridge of my nose, between the brows and around my chin. We will softly blend it without moving it too much. Once it's all nice and blended, as you can see, So this concealer is pretty much my skin shade. It's not lighter and it's not very deeper than me. Now to highlight my face, so for this I am using this highlighting shade of the concealer from Forever 52, and this I will apply it just below my where I have the most discoloration, because if you apply directly it can make your makeup look grey over time. So don't directly apply your highlighting concealer on the areas where you have most darkness. So these are the areas where I have applied my highlighting concealer, basically on the high points of my face. And to blend this out, I'm using a very fluffy eyeshadow brush. Now I'll tell you what it does. It just beautifully spread your product without giving too much of concentration of that product, and gives you a very flawless airbrushed look to your makeup. Now once it's all nice and blended, I will again run my beauty blender on my face so that everything looks pretty much meshed together. So as you can see, everything is nice and blended, nothing looks over the top. Now to set all this base in place, I'm using this Forever 52 translucent powder, and for that I'm using a little bit of that powder on the cap. And firstly I will apply it on my under eyes very softly with a fluffy brush, and to set the rest of my face I'm using this powder from Lakme Natural range. It has a bit of shine to it, so it will give a beautiful dewy finish to my face. Now to apply this generously, I'm using this fluffy brush, and we will apply it very generously on my face so that our makeup will be intact for a very long period of time. Now you can see that there is a little bit of shine on my face, not too much, but just a dewy look. Now for the bronzer, I'm using this Hoola bronzer. Now just a tip, go a very light hand with this bronzer because it's very pigmented and you can easily go overboard with it. And honestly speaking, in daylight or in natural light, too much of contour doesn't look very nice. In photographs it looks beautiful, but in person it doesn't look very nice if you have very harsh contour. So always remember to blend your products very nicely. Take your time in blending, don't rush. So I'll apply this bronzer to all the areas where I have applied my contours previously. Now I will pinch that same brush and I will run it through my nose. Now for the powder blush, I'm using this. It's a date from the Balm Cosmetics. It's a beautiful blush, and I'm using this brush from Miniso to apply the blush. I love this brush for blush application. You can use any fluffy brush. It's a very subtle blush, and the best part is it's not that highly pigmented, so you need not to be very careful with it, because there are some blush which are extremely pigmented, and if you sparingly touch it and you get a blob of pigment on your face. So this product is very pretty and it looks very pretty in person. Now our base is almost all done. Now to moving with the eye makeup, first I will prime my lids using the lighter shade of concealer which I have used for highlighting. Now once our lid is prepped with the concealer, as you can see, we will set our lid with a little bit of loose powder, the Forever 52 one, which we have used very softly, very little product. As you can see, I have almost dabbed all the products on the back of my hand. Next, to move on with the eye makeup, I have used this Suva Beauty eyeshadow palette in it's a rainbow palette, and I will take this orange shade on a very fluffy brush. This brush is from Swiss Beauty. and we will coat our brush nicely with the pigment, and then we will apply it all over our lid and on the outer corners of our eyes. As you can see, we will not apply it on the inner corners, and we will pack up the pigment. As I have applied, I am blending it on my crease so that it looks very diffused in my lids. Now to pack the pigment on the outer corners of my eyes, I am taking a more denser brush and I am packing the pigment on the outer edge of my eyes to get that very pop of orange color like a popsicle, and then I will run that same brush on my lower lid. Next, for the inner half of my eye, I'm using a golden shimmer. You can use any golden shimmer. Here I have used this palette from Huda Beauty, and I'll take this golden shade and will apply this with my fingers only. See, it looks very beautiful. It gives a beautiful shine and looks very pretty. When it catches the light, it looks very pretty. Now to create this daisy flower, I have used this Huda Beauty water activated eyeliner in the shade yellow, and we will mix it with a little bit of water till the time it becomes creamy in consistency. Now once that is done, I'll take the back of my eyeliner brush and I will put a dot on the very edge of my eyes, just like that. Now to draw the petals, I'm using this white eyeliner from the same range, and we will draw few lines. So you can draw as much lines as you want depending upon the number of petals you like to have. Here I have drawn approximately, I think 6. So now, taking an eyeliner brush, I will convert these lines into a water droplet shape. Just like this, and we will convert all these lines into water droplet shape, just like this. Next, I have also applied that same white eyeliner on my inner corner, which I forgot to record. Now to brighten up our waterline, I am using this turquoise eyeliner from LA Girl. It's a beautiful eyeliner. It gives a very fresh look to your eyes, and with the eye looks which I have done right now, it gives a very beautiful pop of color. It looks very nice in person as well. Now the eye look is almost all done. Now to apply the mascara, I have used this L'Oreal Panorama mascara, and we will nicely coat our lashes. So while applying mascara, please take your time and nicely coat your each lashes, and try to avoid getting the bits of mascara on your eyelids, on your lower lids, because then it gets a bit messy to remove those bits. Now once the mascara is dried, I'll curl my lashes. See, just like it gives a beautiful curl and hold to your lashes. Now we are done with the eye makeup. Now moving on to the base. For highlighting, I'm using this cult classic product Merry Luminizer from the Balm Cosmetics, and we will apply this on the high points of our face using a fan brush. I'm applying this on my cheekbone, bridge of the nose, cupid's bow, a little bit on the chin, and in the end, with whatever is left on the brush, without taking any extra product, I'll run the brush all over my forehead, so that once the makeup settles down, it gives a beautiful shine to your forehead, because that's also the place where the light catches the most apart from this high points of your face. See, it's a very nice and subtle blush, and you can go all out with this if you like a very glowy look. I will also apply the same highlighter on my brow bone. So now to fix my makeup, I'm using this elf matte finish setting spray, and we will shake it and we'll cover our lid with our hand, and we'll apply a generous layer of this setting spray all over our face, and we'll let it dry for a minute or two. Now for the lips, I'm using this Lamel BB blush. It's in the coral shade, I don't exactly remember the name. With the very tip of my finger, I'm using and I'm applying this blush on the very inner parts of my lips to get that ombre effect. Now to line my lips, I'm using Mars Edge of Desire lip liner in the shade Scandalous Brown. With this we will line our lips. See, if you have any poppy orange color, pop-up orange color, so with this eye look it would go well. But if you want a muted lip, you can go with the any nude coral color, or you can mix an orange or brown tone lipstick. It will also look good. Now to top it all off, I'm using this L'Oreal lipstick in the shade Iced Lychee. It's from the Colorish range. Now with this step, our makeup is all done and dusted. So as you can see, it's all nice and done. Beautiful. It looks very fresh, cute. So here I have started with the clean face. I have already done my CTM. Now to prime my face, I am using this Maybelline Fit Me primer.